Guys, Red Bull is facing a big problem. Max Verstappen barely completed any laps in FP2 in Canada due to a power unit issue, and this could impact the rest of the season. Meanwhile, Mercedes is trying to find the right balance with their W15, even reverting to an old front wing specification. Let's dive into these challenges and what they mean for the 2024 season. If you enjoy these analyses, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to it. During FP2 at the Canadian Grand Prix, Max Verstappen faced a serious power unit issue with his RB20. During the session, the Dutchman barely completed a few laps before being forced to return to the pits. The team identified an electrical problem, but they are still investigating the exact causes. This failure is particularly concerning because it could have implications for the rest of the season. Reliability has been a strong point for Red Bull in recent years, and any deviation can give opportunities for rivals like Ferrari and McLaren to close the gap. Verstappen himself admitted that the limited track time was far from ideal, leaving the team with less data for analysis and adjustments. Additionally, Red Bull usually uses a separate engine for Friday sessions, which should minimize immediate grid impacts. However, if the power unit issue is serious and irreparable, it could result in future penalties, affecting Verstappen's championship chances. So, could this problem really turn the tide against Red Bull? The Canadian Grand Prix is always a challenge, and for Max Verstappen, this year's edition was even more complicated due to weather conditions and technical issues. The rain at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve limited dry track time, making setup work difficult. This is crucial because this circuit is already not one of the most favorable for the RB20, requiring a perfect balance to maximize performance. Despite these adversities, Verstappen and the Red Bull team were optimistic for the practice and the race. However, the power unit issue during FP2 brought more complications. Without being able to complete significant laps, Verstappen lost the opportunity to collect valuable data in both dry and wet conditions. This puts the team in a challenging position to adjust the car effectively for qualifying and the race. Despite these setbacks, Red Bull has a history of quick recoveries and adaptations. If they can identify and resolve the power unit issue quickly, they can still have a solid chance in Canada. Moreover, Verstappen is known for his ability to extract the maximum from the car, even in adverse conditions. Will we see another heroic performance from Verstappen, overcoming difficulties in Canada? Mercedes has faced a tough road in trying to close the gap to the championship leaders. With the introduction of ground effect cars, the Brackley team has struggled to find the ideal balance. Recently, Mercedes decided to revert to an old front wing specification, abandoning the innovative concept that initially generated a lot of excitement. The main problem with the initial front wing design of the W15 was the imbalance. The new wing created by James Allison brought more aerodynamic load to the front of the car, but this ended up causing more problems than solutions, making the car difficult to drive. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell faced chronic understeer issues, especially in low-speed corners, a problem that has been the subject of many complaints. Switching to the old front wing was a necessary step to make the W15 more predictable and balanced. According to Allison, this decision was crucial to allow the team to focus on other aspects of the car without constantly dealing with aerodynamic imbalance. This is essential to ensure that the drivers can extract maximum performance, especially on circuits that require a setup compromise. Mercedes' bet on going back to basics seems to be paying off, but there is still a long way to go. The next races will be decisive to see if these changes really put the team back in the fight for the top. Let's see how these updates impact Mercedes' performance in the upcoming stages of the season. Lewis Hamilton, one of the greatest champions in Formula One, has been vocal about the challenges faced by Mercedes in the last 2 years. However, after recent updates to the W15, Hamilton gave positive feedback about the car during the Canadian GP. Hamilton reported that the W15 is finally responding to his commands in a more predictable manner. This is a huge relief for the team, as both Hamilton and Russell have been complaining about the car's unpredictability, especially in low-speed corners. The updates to the front wing and floor seem to have resolved many of the aerodynamic issues, making the car more balanced and easier to drive. During the practice sessions in Canada, Hamilton highlighted the importance of maximizing track time, regardless of the weather conditions. He mentioned that the car performed well in both dry and wet conditions, allowing him to build a good rhythm and confidence on the circuit. This kind of feedback is crucial for the team as it validates the changes made and guides the next steps in car development. Hamilton also emphasized that, despite the good signs in practice sessions, the real test will be during qualifying and the race. Consistency throughout the weekend will be essential to determine if Mercedes has finally found the right path to get back to the top. Setup challenges have been the Achilles heel for Mercedes in recent seasons. At the Canadian GP, the variable weather conditions added an extra layer of complexity to finding the perfect car setup. Traditionally, Mercedes has struggled to get the setup right in unstable conditions, directly impacting race performance. Toto Wolff and his team opted to avoid trial-and-error approaches, focusing on more meticulous and data-driven strategies. However, discrepancies between wind tunnel results and real track performance remain a challenge. This has led to constant adjustments during practice sessions to try and find a suitable balance. The decision to revert to a more conventional front wing is part of this new approach. The team is focused on simplifying the car's setup to make it more predictable and easier to adjust, even in adverse conditions. This strategy has already started to show positive results, but the real test will be maintaining this consistency across different circuits and weather conditions. Canada, with its mix of long straights and tight corners, requires a delicate balance between top speed and corner grip. Achieving this balance has been a tough task for Mercedes, but recent improvements indicate that the team is on the right track. The ability to quickly adjust the car to track conditions will be crucial for success in the upcoming races. Has Mercedes finally found the right formula for setups? With the 2024 season in full swing, both Red Bull and Mercedes face significant challenges, but with different prospects for resolution and evolution. Both teams are in a race against time. Red Bull needs to ensure that their reliability problems do not become recurrent, while Mercedes must keep up the development pace to return to championship contention. The upcoming races will be crucial to determine the season's direction and who will come out on top in the technological and strategic battle. So, who do you think will fare better in this clash of titans? Leave your opinions in the comments. So folks, as we've seen, both Red Bull and Mercedes have their challenges and opportunities in the 2024 season. Red Bull needs to quickly resolve their reliability issues to maintain their dominant position, while Mercedes is on a recovery trajectory, trying to find the perfect balance with the W15. The next races will be decisive for both teams, and it will be interesting to see how each will handle these obstacles. Will Red Bull maintain their supremacy, or will Mercedes finally manage to turn things around? Leave in the comments what you think will happen, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more analyses and news about Formula One. See you next time, guys.